Demonstrator in Australia, and it is Tuesday night, so it is time for my weekly online class to go. So for those who aren't familiar, who are new to my either Facebook page or YouTube channel, welcome. Each week on Tuesday nights I do a live class. We usually make 3 cards. And for anyone who places an order in my online store of $75 or more, and that's before shipping and after any Stampin' Rewards redemption, before the end of Saturday night, I will send you the kits to make 2 each of the 3 cards from this week's class. Now, this week slightly different. We are doing 4 cards. The reason for that is I had designed 3 and then decided that 2 of them were a little bit too similar, so I designed another one, but we'll do all 4, and the kits will include 2 kits for each of the 4 cards. And for anyone who is on my email list, and if you're not already on my email list, head over to handmadeafterdark.com.au and you can sign up there. Next week I will send the full tutorial for the 4th card. That is going to be the bonus card, one of the ones that I sort of initially switched out. So that will be next week. So my weekly email goes out on Wednesdays, but it will be next week, so that anyone who's watching the replay, watching a bit later, still has time to sign up so that they can get the tutorial as well. And before I forget, from tomorrow, so Wednesday the 15th through to Friday, Stampin' Rewards are offering double Stampin' Rewards. So whatever you would normally earn in rewards, you will get double. So that's Wednesday to Friday this week. Alrighty, let's get started because we've got a bit more to get through tonight. So these are the 4 cards. So this one here is going to be the bonus card. So that's the one I'll be sending the tutorial for. But we're going to do all 4 tonight. So the featured bundle is the Springtime Scenes. So this is the stamp set. So you've got a whole bunch of different sentiments and then a few images. So you've got various leaves, the little flower, the ladybug, and then the dies. So you get quite a few dies in this set. So you've got a label die, you've got the 3, I think it's just the 3, yeah, the 3 round dies. You've got the large leaf, you've got leaves that you can use on their own, and then ones that coordinate with the images, and also the ladybug. So you've got quite a bit in there. Hi Dimity, how are you? Alrighty, so let's get started, and we will start with this one up here. So for this one I've used a soft sea foam base, and then we have some embossed Old Olive cardstock. So I've embossed this with the Ladybug Garden embossing folder, and then we have a whole bunch of the dies. One thing I just realized I forgot to mention, those of you who have been watching for a while will be well aware of this, but for anyone who is new, the kits for the class include all the cardstock and designer series paper that you need, and any embossed pieces or die cuts that are not part of the featured bundle, but any dies that are part of the featured bundle, you get the cardstock, but you will need to die cut those yourself. So just so that everyone is aware, because if you happen to be using something different, then you will obviously need different die cuts to go with your different stamped images. So And I highly recommend adhesive sheets with these fine die cuts. I haven't used any on this one. I should have. Adhesive sheets make it so much easier for these. But we will deal with that when we get to it. Let's move some of these across. So we will adhere this one first. Okay, so this one's just a standard layer. So just even borders, or as even as you can get. Alrighty, and then this one is going down the bottom here. Now so when you cut the plain circle, you get the circle, but then you also get sort of the outside ring. So I have adhered that to the back of the old olive die cut. You don't have to use that one. I just decided that I would use it. It's sort of, I don't know, I liked it. I found it worked a little bit better, but totally optional. But we will stick this one down first. Just make sure you allow enough room for that outside edge. So don't go too close to the edge, because you want to be able to fit it in. And we'll go a little bit up from the bottom. I'm not going to press down too hard just yet, because I want to stick these ones down. So I'm just going to add, because I didn't use adhesive sheets for this one, just going to add, that was a bit much, just a few little bits of adhesive on some of the slightly wider sections. Not that there's much, but adhesive sheets make this so much easier. So we can, because I haven't stuck that down properly, we can lift that up, get the leaves under, and I'll press the leaves down. I won't press the top down just yet, because I want to put the top one down as well. So I'll do the same for this one, just a few little bits of the green glue on the wider sections, and then we can gently lift that up. So this one goes roughly sort of center top or thereabouts, and we'll angle it up slightly. And once you're happy with where all of that is, press down. I probably should have brought this one a little bit further down, but there also isn't much room to move, just because the top layer will cover a bit more of that than I ideally would like, but you can still see enough of it. And then we will add adhesive around here, and I'll add just a little bit on, again, some of the wider sections here, just so that it sticks down. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I like to make sure my stuff sticks down properly. So I usually add far too much. That should be enough. We can pop that down, and you can, if you need to, you can adjust slightly to make sure it sort of fits with the base piece, but that's looking fine, I think. And then, so I've used two-tone cardstock for the flowers, and where is my other center gone? There it is. And then we have, I think I had a spare that I found on the floor. So we will put these ones, the little ones, we're going to go down flat. Hi Renee, how are you? So these ones can sit flat, and then we'll pop up the larger ones. And I just realized I didn't quite position this one exactly where I wanted it. Not that it really matters. You can have it facing whichever direction you want. I will no, that's this one now. I was going to do the larger one first, but let's get all these little ones down. And then we'll bring in dimensionals. So I'm just going to use, one big one for these. And this one goes up the top. I'm good, Renee. I haven't got my paper pumpkin kit yet, although I have the one from Onstage, but I have received the add-on dies, so they have come. I just haven't had a chance to play with them yet. That pesky work getting in the way, always gets in the way of crafting time. So rude. Alrighty, and then we will pop that in there for the moment because we don't need that one. Where did my label go? Here it is. So, Memento Black, or you could use Mossy Meadow for the sentiment, or Old Olive. Any of those will work fine. So just stamp this one in the middle. And then, now, did I get, yes I did. Well, more do I still have my Calypso Coral ink out. And I do, which is good. Alrighty. So all we're going to do here is get the little flower, and I stamped off for these ones. Just so it's not quite as bright, and I'm going to add, actually no, let's leave it at 3. Then we are going to pop this one up on dimensionals. So I'm going with a big one in the middle and then a few smaller ones around the side. One more just for good measure. add to the pile of dimensional backings on the floor. And on my hands. So that is going to sit across the center there. And then all that we need to do, apart from, let's see, the insert before I forget. And I suspect I'm going to need to refill this very soon. Yep, right about now. All right, crash course in replacing your Stampin' Seal for anyone who isn't sure how to do it. First things first, get all your glue boogers out. So just clean out basically the top section where they tend to sort of start to catch. Clean that out. Grab your replacement. And I'll put the older one back in there so I completely miss. And then you just need to line up, and mine is quite gungy with lots of bits of adhesive all over it, but large one at the back, the small one in the center, and you're good to go. So this little bit up here is where you tend to can get a build-up of adhesive, so that's the bit that you want to clean out, and then we just roll it forward till we get to the adhesive, and we are good to go. Alrighty. And where is my just get that off as best I can. I can finish cleaning that up later. That'll do for now. All right, so embellishments for this one. I am using, I've got a couple. I have quite a big pile of embellishments here. So I have some of the Ladybug Garden epoxy shapes. So we're going to use one of the little ladybugs. And that one is going down there. And then some of, and I need my second packet of these. Where are they? So I'm using the 2025 to 2027 in color flat pearls. So I am using a mix of the Strawberry Slush and Timid Tiger, but you could use all Strawberry Slush if you wanted to. You can go with whatever you prefer. Alrighty, that is that one done. So there is the first one. And on to the second one, which is this one. So this one is a Mossy Meadow card base. And then we have some Cajun Craze, some of the Cute as a Bug Designer Series paper. And then I have a whole bunch of die cuts that I prepared earlier. Oops, there's a few little extra bits in there. So we have so I've used Mossy Meadow for the leaves for this one, Old Olive underneath, and so this is the ring that I was mentioning earlier, that when you cut this one, it cuts out both, so I stick them all together. And then we have another labeled die cut. We've got the ladybugs, and then I don't need all of these, they just ended up, these are just the little bits of the ladybug dies, but you could use those for something else, and I probably will. So let's stick these together just so I don't have quite so many pieces on my desk, because I'm always running out of space. So let's get these together. So for this one, I used Poppy Parade for the top of the ladybug. Oops. There we go, it's better. Oops. Might help if it's the right way around. Alrighty. So that is those done. So now let's put this bit together. So DSP on the Cajun Craze. And then we will adhere that to the card front. So this one's quite a thin border. And then we'll put this one down on the front. Okay, then we want this one in the middle, so you can either stick this to the detailed piece and then stick it all down together, or you can do it this way. I've done both. I found this way is a little bit easier, but I will stick this one down, if it'll stop sticking to my finger, and actually, there we go. So we'll stick that one down, and then we can stick that over the top, and we'll just add just little bits of glue to all the leaves, or most of them, all of them, just so it does sit nicely and doesn't pop up. And then just adjust as you need to fit around the circle. And if you find you have any spots where there's a bit of a gap between the layers, you can use those spots, like cover those gaps with the ladybugs. So you can always adjust the position of those if you find you end up with any little gaps. So we should stamp the sentiment next, and I used Mossy Meadow for this one, and then I also need Soft Sea Foam. You probably, or you may not have been able to see the other stamping on this one because it's in Soft Sea Foam and it's stamped off, and that's right, I need to re-ink my Mossy Meadow, so I'm just going to go around some of the edges to get a bit more ink. Alrighty, so that one done, and then Soft Sea Foam, and I'm using the larger leaf image. And just going to do a couple, one down the bottom there, and another one up in the top. And that's all that is needed for that one. So that's going to sit about there, so we can pop that up on dimensionals, and I will just go with a few bigger ones just because I am running out. Well, I'm not running out of the little ones, just running out in terms of what I have in front of me right now. I have definitely got plenty. Alrighty, so that is going to sit down here, so just overlapping with the bottom of the circle, and we're going to sit these, so you can put these wherever you like. I'm going to sit them flat except for the one in the corner there. We will pop that one up, just need to be mindful of where the dimensionals sit, because we don't want to put a dimensional on the bit that's sitting up on an already raised section. So if we go one there and one down the bottom, that is sitting there, that should, I will stick another one just down in the corner just so it doesn't sink, and then just regular adhesive for the other side. And put that one there, and then we need the insert. Okay, and then embellishments. I am using the Moody Palette Glossy Dots for this one. So grab a few of these ones. And there we go, that is the second one. So on to the third one. So this was the new third one, after I decided that the original third one was a little bit too similar to the one we just did. So that is going to be the bonus card. And so for this one is a shaded spruce card base, and then we have some soft sea foam embossed with the Ladybug Garden embossing folder. We have some basic black and more basic black and a bunch of die cuts. So I have used the specialty foil paper for this one. So there are 3 colours in the pack. There's Shaded Spruce, Berry Burst and Blueberry Bushel. So I've used the Shaded Spruce and Berry Burst for this one, and I used Real Red for the Ladybug for this one. So we'll stick that together. We'll get as much of this together as we can before we need to do the sentiment, because we need to heat emboss that. So the more we can kind of have out of the way, so to speak, the better. All right, so the soft sea foam on the basic black. And just straighten that up. This one is another thin edge, thin border. So the green glue comes in very, very handy for these ones. Much easier to adjust. Alrighty, let's pop this one down. And oops, adjust slightly, not quite that much. There we go. And so this time I don't have another circle underneath. We're just going straight down with this one. So we'll just get it all, I was going to say inked up, but adhesived up would be more appropriate. We are not inking this one up at all, and we do want a reasonable amount of glue because it's sitting on embossed cardstock, so it can be a little harder, but don't make it too thick because it'll squidge out the sides. So decent amount, but spread it out so that it doesn't squish. So that should hopefully be enough, but not too much. And press all that down. Alrighty, that is fine. We are going to pop this one up on dimensionals, and I reckon the one there, oh, actually no, we do need another one up the top here for this one. So this one's going to sit there, and we will add here the little flowers now. The big one and the leaves will come later, but let's get these ones down first before they all disappear or get blown away when I get the heat tool out. Hopefully, I'm hoping there's another couple of little flowers hiding on top of the big one that I just can't see yet, because I need a couple more. I think I see one. There's one. Where's my other one? Am I sure? No, there it is. It's hiding. It's all good. It was just hiding. Okay. That one can go there. The other one we will do when we add all the other pieces. So we'll just move those over there and move this out of the way for the moment. I need to, actually, first thing I need to do is clean my stamp, because, and I may as well do these ones while I'm at it so I don't forget. Alrighty, so we need to heat emboss this one. So hi Terry, what are you doing up at this time? But it's nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Alrighty. Time to heat emboss. Most important part, embossing buddy. You do not want to heat emboss without your embossing buddy. So, give your cardstock a good going over with your embossing buddy. And especially considering the amount of adhesive that I have on my hands most of the time, even more important. Alrighty. So we're just going to stamp this in the center. This is my new squidgy Versamark. It was definitely a good idea to replace my very, very old one. Alrighty, so white embossing powder over the top. And tap that off, and then just with your little paintbrush, just dust off any bits, any stray bits of embossing powder that you can see. And don't worry if you've still got bits of the powder from your embossing buddy visible. It's not going to be an issue. It'll come off. Bits of embossing powder are more of an issue, and we do want to get those off so that we don't heat set them. Alrighty, that looks pretty good. I am going to tip this back in, otherwise I'll put it aside, I will forget, and I will end up spilling it everywhere. So move all of that out of the way, bring in my trusty clipboard. So this just helps heat from the top and the bottom and minimizes warping. Thank you, Connie, for that tip. Connie won't be watching right now, but she might see it later. All right, let's go. Alrighty, let's see how that's looking. I think that's pretty good. It's all melted, which is what we want. So we can take that one off, then we can bring this back in. So that is going to sit there, and we'll bring all the little pieces back in before I lose them all. So we will pop this one up, and I may as well use some of these little side strips. Always use the sides of your dimensionals. They are very, very useful. Especially when you need either odd shapes or really thin strips. These can be very, very handy. Or just when you're running low. Alright, so we can get all those backings off into a pile on the floor. And then this is going to overlap just ever so slightly with the edge of the circle. And then I'm going to stick this little one down now before I lose it. So this one is going down in the bottom corner. And did I? No, I did not use. No. Couldn't remember if I'd used adhesive sheets on this one. No, I did not. So that is fine. We just want a little bit of adhesive just on one side. So just actually, we can go all the way to the end there. is going to sit there, and this one is going to come down this side. So again, just a little bit of adhesive down one side, just enough to keep it all in place. And we will slide that in, angle that one out slightly. And where's my dimensionals gone? Dimensional for the flower, that's going to sit over the top. And then embellishments. So for this one, I have used, once I find them, the garden epoxy dots. So these are from the Paradise Garden. I think it's Paradise Garden bundle. Can't remember, the Garden Poultry is the suite. So we are going to use a mix for this one. So I'm using a bunch of different color embellishments, particularly as with this set of embellishments, you don't get a huge number of each embellishment, so using a mix of colors works well for something like this, particularly as I am using quite a few. And then I need one more of this one. So, oops, insert. Add the insert. Thank you, Terry. Yes, I was debating what color cardstock to use for the sentiment, and in the end I went with black, so I was like, well, that needs to be embossed and I like it. And I saw someone had done a similar design using the foil papers as well, and they had heat embossed, they had white embossing. I can't remember the sentiment, something else, but and they'd use slightly different colors for the card and the background, but yeah, the white embossing really works. So that is the third card, and now as we have a bonus card for this week, once I find it, where have I put it? Here we go. So this was originally card number 3, but as I mentioned at the start, I decided it was too close to card number 2, so I switched it out. So this is a bonus one for this week. You, for those who are doing, who are placing an order and getting the kits, you will get 2 kits for this card as well. And as I mentioned at the start, I will be sending the tutorial for this card in next week's email newsletter. So you've got until next week to sign up to my email list. So head over to handmadeafterdark.com.au and you can sign up there, and then you'll get all my emails. You'll get all the information on classes and club and everything else. And yeah, that will come out next week, so that people who are watching this later, so watching the replay, you will still have time to sign up and get the tutorial. Alrighty, so and I did use adhesive sheets for this one and definitely recommend it. So let's start putting this together. Let's just go with the seal for this one, partly because my glue is running out, and much like dimensionals, I have lots of it. I'm not in danger of running out anytime soon, but I don't have any more within arm's reach, so we will go with seal for that one, and we will stick this piece down first. It does work a little bit easier than, well, yeah, it was a little easier than sticking it all together and then sticking down, but whatever works. Alrighty, so I have already stuck the ring from that center piece on. I did get that done just before we started, just to save a little bit of time, particularly as we do have an extra this week. So let's just get a little bit of adhesive on most of the leaves. Then we can stick that down. And remember, if you have any gaps around the edges, use your ladybugs to cover those up if you need to. Speaking of which, let's put those together. So I went with Poppy Parade again for this one. So this one and the second card I used Poppy Parade, but Real Red for the third card. That's one more. Oops, that's a little bit too high up. Let's move that out of the way, and then you can either pop these up or stick them down flat. I stuck these ones down flat. Really depends how much height you want to give to the card and if you're posting it or not. So that is those. Let's do the sentiment. So I'm going Mossy Meadow again for this one. And of course, that's right, I really should get the re-inker out and re-ink this. If you find that you are running out of ink, your ink pad needs re-inking, and you either don't have the re-inker yet, or you're like me and you just haven't got around to getting it out. If you normally stamp or ink up your images sort of in the center, go around the edges. You will probably find you've got a bit more ink around the edges, so you should be able to get what you need, hopefully, from the edges. Alrighty, so that, we're not going to stick this one down just yet, but let's get the dimensionals down. And maybe straighten that one up a little bit so it's not, well, it's more so it's not overhanging the edge, but so that will sit there. Now I've die cut one of the well, one each, of the solid leaf and then the detailed. And these, you can either use these on their own or together. So I actually remembered my adhesive sheets, and the good thing with adhesive sheets, particularly for this sort of stuff, is it's very easy to readjust. So, and particularly with detailed ones like this, and of course this one actually worked quite well the first time, but if you find that parts of it are not quite in the right place, it's really easy to lift up and readjust when you've used the adhesive sheets as your adhesive. So that is another benefit of adhesive sheets for these ones. And let's see how we go with this one. So this one's, once again, when I make my sample cards, I need to adjust about 10 times, but when I want to show you, it works fine. And of course now it doesn't want to. There we go. So you can very easily pick it up and move it around if you so need. So let's just get these roughly where we want them. So we want to stick these down before I put the sentiment panel down, particularly as I've used large dimensionals, because we want to make sure that the leaves are actually going to sit where we want them to sit. Because if your dimensionals are in the way and you're trying to stick these under afterwards, it'll block them, and then you're trying to move dimensional pieces around and not tear things. So it's a lot easier in general to do it this way. And then that is going to sit about there. Now we can take all the dimensional backings off. And pop this one down. That's about right. And then these little flowers, we will just set these flat. You could also use the mini glue dots to adhere these as well. That is another option. Can be a little bit less messy than the liquid glue. And just adjust that one slightly. Then all that is left is the insert and embellishments. If I could actually keep my runner straight. I'll clean that up later. Alrighty. So, embellishments for this one. We have some of the iridescent pearls and some of the brushed brass butterflies. Now these are on the last chance list. So if you need some more of these, I would recommend ordering sooner rather than later, but hold off till tomorrow when you can get double Stampin' Rewards. So a few of those, and then just some of the little ones for the flower centers, if they want to cooperate. Oops. Come on, there we go. Alrighty. So there is our fourth bonus card. So let me bring all of tonight's cards back in. Alrighty, so we have 4 cards this week. These are the 4. Remember you have until the end of Saturday night to get your orders in to get the kits. You will get the kits for all 4, and next week, in next week's email newsletter, I will send the full tutorial for the 4th bonus card. So that will be next week, and next week's class is the Scalloped Wishes bundle. Let me just switch my camera back around. There we go. So that will be next week. Remember, double Stampin' Rewards from tomorrow, so Wednesday the 15th, until Friday. Also, tomorrow is the last day to register for this month's card club. So that is the Paradise Garden bundle. So that closes tomorrow. And for those who are wanting to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, next month's kit registration has opened for that. So you have until I think it's the 10th of May to register for that. So that one is now open as well. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the projects. If you're watching on YouTube, if you like the projects, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I do appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who watches my videos, comments, shares, all of it. It's really, really helpful, and I do appreciate it. So thank you. Alrighty, and